It's today's best country, Cat Country 106.3. Jake here with a special guest. I'm joined by Grammy Award-winning country artist John Barry, who will make a tour stop at the Rayne Drop in Saturday, February 8th. John, great to meet you and have you on today. Where are you calling from?
I'm at home in the Nashville area.
Hopefully you guys got some warmer weather than we do out here in the Northeast.
Oh no, it's quite well. It's actually pretty nice today. It's 41 right now, but it's been a little on the cold side.
Well, 41 in Nashville that's what I call a Pennsylvania heat wave. So hopefully it warms up for you when you come out to the Rayne Drop in. But you're going to be on tour celebrating 30 years of your number one hit, Your Love Amazes Me, and also 30 years of Standing on the Edge of Goodbye. How have things gone in terms of preparing for this tour and your stop here in Indiana County?
Well, this particular run is a solo acoustic thing, just doing some solo dates, and I'm hoping my wife Robin's going to join me, so she might be there with me, and that's always a good thing. So
tell me, what made you want to bring your tour to Indiana County? I know a lot of people love country music out here. I know we have a great listenership here on Cat Country, but what made you decide, hey, I want to come to the Rayne Drop in, and I want to come to Indiana County, Pennsylvania?
Well, I seldom get to that part of the world, but I'm going to be over in Indiana on a kind of not regular stop. I guess I play over at this particular venue about every 18 months or so, and they asked me where else we might want to go, and I said, well, look, can we get something else across the Great Lakes region of that direction, and so. The Rayne Drop came up, and I'd heard about it from some friends of mine who've played there, and so I thought it'd be a great stop.
Have you ever been to Pennsylvania before? I know Indiana County,
Sure.
It's kind of small on the map, but in terms of Pennsylvania, have you ever been here before?
Oh yeah, I've played around Pennsylvania a number of times, and we just don't get there often enough. So.
Well, we're glad to have you, and especially for this tour celebrating the 30th anniversary of your number one hit, Your Love Amazes Me, and also 30 years of Standing on the Edge of Goodbye. It's got to be amazing that you're already celebrating 30 years of these two hits. Is it sort of set in yet?
Well, it's kind of crazy. When you think about it, it's like, grief, it's been doing that this long. So, but the great part about it is the testament is that there are time-tested songs that people still seem to enjoy, and they've held up. The recordings have held up, and sometimes you hear songs that you think, well, the song sounds kind of dated or that kind of thing. But these particular songs, they just have got timelessness about them. I think they work real well, regardless of the age.
Does it ever amaze you when you see songs, whether they be yours or maybe other people, when they stand the test of time like this? I mean, it's got to be a little bit of a shock to be like, wow, this has been pretty popular in mainstream media for so long.
Yeah, and you can't plan that kind of thing. It just, you can't, there's no way you can manufacture something like that. It either happens or it doesn't, And I'm tickled I'm really tickled it happened with these couple of songs.
Let's talk about Your Love Amazes Me, because when you have a song like that tugs the heartstrings, there's got to be an inspiration for that. I was reading up a little bit on it, but can you tell our listeners what motivated you to put that piece of art out and, just a really touching song like that a lot of people can maybe delve into whenever they want something very, 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 trying to find the word for it, intimate like that?
Yeah, well, the song was written by Chuck Jones and Amanda Hunt Taylor, and Chuck's become a dear friend of mine over the years, and he actually wrote quite a few songs on my debut album. And matter of fact, I joke with him. I said we should form a duo. We should call it Chuck Berry, but he didn't quite get it. But anyway,
well, maybe do the duck walk a little bit too while you play.
But he's just a great writer, and it was the very first time I heard that song, I knew there was something special about it. And at that time, I was playing clubs. I was living in Athens, Georgia, which is a college town, and that's where I'm from. And I played clubs there in that town for about 10 years. And the band and I worked up that song, and our job, we played these college clubs, and our job there was for the place to roar for 3 hours,
Mm-hmm.
And it was just a lot of fun. We had a great time there playing over the years, but we worked that song up, and we would play it, and the place would just get quiet. It'd be like, what in the world? And we knew we were on to something. And then people started requesting the song. They wanted to hear it, so we knew we had something really special there. So it ended up being a great single for me.
Yeah, I mean, it won you a couple awards, and that's always good to see. It's always a good result, especially when you said you play it live and nobody really responds to it, and you're like, I don't know how this is going to work, but I'm glad to see that it was able to generate some success over the years. And same with Standing on the Edge of Goodbye. And this seems a little different because from what I gathered just by reading the lyrics and listening to it, it seems like an upbeat breakup song, if you will. I don't know if that's maybe how you guys promoted that when you first released it. But as somebody who was in a pretty harsh breakup over about a year and a half ago, it really also tugged at my heartstrings. Can you sort of talk about what motivated that piece of work?
That was it was the result of a conversation I was having with one of my best friends that I went to go visit with him, and I knew he had something he needed to talk about that was serious. We were walking around the neighborhood, and he said, John, I feel like my wife is standing on the edge of the driveway looking for somewhere to go. And all I could think of was standing on the edge of the driveway, and I came up with that chorus for Standing on the Edge of Goodbye, and I had that chorus for about a year. And I just couldn't write anything. I just had this chorus, and I ended up getting together with a guy by the name of Stuart Harris. Stuart was a great writer. We lost him a couple of years ago. He lost his life, but I got together with Stuart and played him the chorus, and we jumped right in. About an hour later, we were finished with it, and it was the first number one record I had that I had a hand in writing.
When you got the news that it was your first number one hit, what was that feeling like, if you can recall it all these years later?
Well, actually, my first number one hit was Your Love Amazes Me, but Stay on the Edge of Goodbye was the first one I had a hand in writing.
Okay.
But anytime I had a number one record, it was always amazing. There's so many songs on the radio, so many artists making records, and to have a song that for a brief moment is the number one song in the country, it's pretty amazing.
Is it a different feel whenever you have a number one song as a singer versus when you have a hand in writing it?
Not so much for me, because I don't write a lot. But it's all good, It's all really good.
Well, I'd imagine those two songs are going to come up on your tour, especially when you come here to Indiana County. And I know you mentioned this is a solo acoustic tour. Maybe your wife will join you. You have any maybe surprises or maybe some big things that, or maybe some even bigger hits that we haven't talked about here in this conversation that you're going to bring along with you on your trip here to the Rayne Drop Inn?
Well, I don't think I've got any bigger hits, but of course I'll be playing Kiss Me in the Car, and She's Got a Mind of Her Own, and You and Only You, and all those other songs I've had hits with, and now I'll just play some other songs that I had a hand in writing, or songs I wrote by myself, and songs that have been on album cuts that have been favorites of mine, and favorites of folks who come to hear me play, and so I just try to work up as much diversity as I can.
It's going to be an interesting and exciting set list, and especially it's always exciting when we can bring someone of your caliber here to Indiana County. We're so thrilled to have you. And if anybody is interested in coming out to see John Barry at the Rayne Drop Inn Saturday, February 8th, tickets $30 for general admission, Golden Circle tickets $45. John, where can people go to purchase tickets to come see your show, or maybe even just read up more about you and your career?
Well, you can go to johnbarry.com, of course, and find out probably more about me than you really want to know. But if you go to johnbarry.com, the first thing that pops up is our tour page, and the second, the Shipshaw one is the first date, February 7th, and February 8th is Marion Center, Pennsylvania, of course, and you click on that, and it takes you to bands in town. It takes you to a place you can click on, get tickets, and there it is right there.
There you have it. Fill the Rayne Drop In Saturday, February 8th. It's a special show by John Barry, Grammy Award-winning country artist. He is coming to Indiana County. Head to his website, purchase tickets. Again, $30 for general admission, $45 for Golden Circle tickets. John, it's been exciting having you here on Cat Country 106.3. Good luck to you whenever you come here to Indiana County. Stop by our businesses and just enjoy your time here, all right?
I'm looking forward to being with you.
All right, thanks for the time. That's John Barry on Cat Country 106.3.